Hey everyone, welcome back to Lumber Capital Log Yard. Thanks for pressing on this video. Today we're going to be learning how to optimize the lumber value of your log. And this is a huge question for us millers because we don't want to waste anything. We want to get the most money out of every log that we mill. And so today the boss is going to answer this question for us. Let's get into this video.
Is this good? I'm not allowed to say Emerald roped me into doing another video, so here we go. She's the one holding the camera today. We had a really important question last night as I was looking through the comments, and it was how do you optimize the value of a log? That is a great question. I think that's how I responded to the comment. And you're gonna have to bear with me on this because milling practices and procedures are different across the United States, and everybody has their own goals and purposes in mind. So I'm going to speak from my perspective because that would be the perspective we're operating from. First of all, what I want to know is what is my number one best-selling product. And when we are just plain sawing, which is the technique that we use on hemlock, that would be canting up your log, getting your cube, and then just slicing through it. So that's called plain sawing. When we are plain sawing, our number one product is a 1x10. A 1x10 10, a 1x10 12 in those particular lengths is their number one product. So when I'm looking at how to optimize the value of a log, I want to know what I am able to sell to the public. And with that said, then we look at the log. And if we come over here and take a look, these are pine logs I bought from another company, and this log is approximately 12.5 inches across inside bark. This one's 13. They are going to yield a 1x10 10 if we can it up. So to answer your question, what if you have an order and your order is 2x6s? Well, I don't want to necessarily cut, say, this log into 2x6s, nor this log. I feel that would be a waste because of the size of the log and it not yielding the value that I want to get out of it. So I want to look at it like, what log actually yields that product the best. So we might come down to a log, say this size or this size, and as we're looking at them, we are, you can see your 2x6 material in there. You might get 3 or you might get 4 2x6 6s out of that. Sorry for the interruption. We had a customer come in and he was standing behind me and I lost my train of thought. I think this is an important video because the logs are expensive and it takes a lot of time in cutting them, so you do want to optimize. So just to review what I said, you want to know what your best product is, and ours happens to be a 1x10 10, so that's about a 13-14 inch log. Somewhere in there, easily yields that. So that's our default practice. So we plain saw through and get that. Then our last cut, we cut 2-inch material, so we're not running the blade real low to the bottom of the mill deck. So we're just, our last cut will be a 2-inch piece, and that happens to be the width of what we were cutting. So if we were cutting 1x10s, then our last piece would be a 2x10. So then if we don't need 2x10 material, we're standing on edge and we're cut a 2x6 or a 2x4 out of that. So then you get a 6 and a 2x6 and a 2x4. And again, those are popular products in what we sell, so that optimizes that. Now, could we just cut 2x4s? Absolutely. But if I'm cutting 2x4s, I'm looking for a log that yields 1x8s. So we can get our 1x8s, we get our 8x8 can or an 8-inch can, and then we can cut 2-inch material out of that if we want. So we can get a bunch of 2x material, and then we would turn that on end, say a 2x8, cut it in half, and you get a 2x4. So that's what's important about optimizing. I wanted to show you this about the mill in regard to how we cut. I know you've seen this in the hundreds of videos that we put out. This is the log turner here, and Emerald and the girls will turn logs. Sometimes they're use this piece and pop it up and sort of use the pieces in combination, or just pop this up and turn the can. Either one works for turning it. This is specifically the log turner. The next mill up in size with Wood-Mizer has a multi-directional log turner. We do not, so we can only rotate a log in one direction, where the next mill up in size can rotate the log backwards or forwards, so you can cut your top and turn it this way and then turn around and cut it the other way. Because we do not have a multi-directional turner, it limits what we can do with the log and how we take lumber off of it. So when you get into your larger, more powerful mills, even ones that Wood-Mizer manufactures, I would consider that with our company a major upgrade. Not only would it be faster, but it would help us optimize what we cut out of the log. Because if we have to rotate that log around multiple sides to get back to the side that we want, it really slows you down. And it doesn't turn all that fast. So I know you've seen the videos, and you know if you have to turn it 4 times to come back to a certain side, that it would that it's slow. So the other thing that we have is a board edger, which we've covered in multiple videos, and what we think of that and how we like it. But let's come and take a look at this. So this is a very wide hemlock board. It's actually 15 inches wide. So what we're going to do with this board is, remember, I don't sell 1x15, we sell 1x10s. So what we're going to do is we're going to edge this board into a 10-inch board and then a 4-inch board. So we'll have a 1x10 and a 1x4, and then we optimize the value of that board. But you have to be looking at every piece that you cut and how you can optimize the value out of that. But it's very important you understand your operation. What is the most valuable product that you can sell? If you're building a house and you're doing board and bat, then and you're just a homeowner, then that's the answer to your question. You're looking for that material that you can yield out of that. Yesterday's video, I think, was it on shingles, Em? Okay, so our shake shingles are they're 6 inches wide. Here's the cutoffs here. So we just do a 6x6. Now it could be an 8x6 or a 7x6. It doesn't matter as long as we have 6 inches on one side, and then we can run it down through the mill. But again, I'm looking for that 6-inch can. Now, it just so happens that the 15-inch board that I showed you was a log was it was rated 28 inches. Did you get did that show up in the video?
Not the biggest one, not the butt.
Okay, I should have had Em videotape that yesterday for you. we couldn't even can it up. She made it look like a hexagon. She just kept shaving it off and turning it a little bit to eventually get it to run through the mill. So that's how we did that. Anyhow, that particular log yielded six 6x6s, and we did that out of 2 logs. And that just happened to be what optimized that log. It also provided us the material that we needed for doing the shingles yesterday. So I know this is a difficult question to answer because I can only answer it in regard to how our log yard performs, and your needs and your desires are going to be much different. But I'd say know what you can always default back onto. You know, if it's a 2x6 or a 2x4, then look at your logs that way. You're going to see them differently than I do, because every log in the woods that I cut, I'm like, can I get a 1x10 out of that? Because I know if I can get all the other products that we need. And this is this size log here is what we're looking at. You know, it's a 10-inch log, and that's what I'm going to want to cut like a 6x6 out of. So that's the best way. You know, when I see that log, that I see a 6x6. We don't actually cut many 1x6s, although we sell a fair amount of them. And the reason we don't cut a lot of 1x6s is because when we come back over to the edged material that we're taking off the outer flanks of the log, we happen to, by default, get a lot of 1x6s. So it doesn't make sense to slice and dice logs on the mill into 1x6s when the flitches yield a lot of 1x6s. You know, I don't like to waste anybody's time. I thought it was a great question. I wish I could answer it more directly, but you really have to figure out what's important to you. You may be cutting hardwood, and then that'd be a whole different animal. Then you're cutting on the 1/4 inch, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 8/4, and you're looking at different yields at that point. But with us, our inventory is a 1x3, a 1x4, a 1x6, 1x8, 1x10, and then we do that in 2x material, and then we do 4x4s and 6x6s. So again, that's what I'm looking at when I look at the log. It took the girls very little time to figure out how to do that and how to optimize it, and I think they do an absolutely fantastic job. So thank you for your time. I know I'm not the pretty face that the rest of my family provides, but I thought it was a valuable question, and I like to answer these more directly. Another question that was asked, I'm not going to address it now, but I will in the future, is what is the cost per hour of operating the mill? And that's not going to be a direct answer either. So I'll give you my take on that, and as you're making purchases of these products in the future, even if it's not a Wood-Mizer product, I'll tell you how to look at that, at least from an owner's perspective. So thank you greatly for your time. It's greatly appreciated. We love doing this. And while I'm thinking of it, we had 2 subscribers yesterday stop in from Canada. They were on their way back north, and stopped and visited with us late last night here at the log yard. And they felt a little remiss about stopping. And I want to assure all of our subscribers, we like to visit with you, and you are welcome to stop at any time. We can't always stop what we're doing, stop working, but you are always welcomed here at the log yard. We love to meet you, and you're why we're doing this. So we don't watch the videos so much ourselves, but we love it when we get those comments, and we feel we've added value to your operation. It's very important for us, so it's what I enjoy out of it. Thank you. Have a good evening, and we'll see you on Friday's video.